The power struggle between the army and the Muslim Brotherhood dates back to the late 1950s, when former President Gamal Abdel Nasser clamped down on the group after an assassination attempt on him for refusing to establish the Sharia law. Working underground for the next 60 years, the Muslim Brotherhood attracted thousands of Egyptians and increased their base through Islamic preachings and political struggle.
They targeted the poor and desperate, offering them food, money and work, while posing as religious, pious people who represent God and Islamic ethics, a formula that worked brilliantly in Egypt and most Islamic countries. The Brotherhood became an underground international institution.
The 25th of January revolution was the golden opportunity for the Muslim Brotherhood to surface and become a recognized group. They quickly formed a political party, the Freedom and Justice Party, and were ready to compete in the political game, ironically with the help of the army. Under the military's CAF supervision, all elections and ballots were won by the FJP. They achieved a majority in both parliaments and narrowly won the presidential elections. One of the first decisions by the democratically elected President Mohamed Morsi was to sack the military's top brass.
In only 1 year, the Muslim Brotherhood moved from an illegal underground group into the undisputed rulers of the country. And their leader, Mohamed Morsi, became the higher commander of the armed forces. It was like a fairy tale into the making.
But the fairy tale lasted only 1 year. A series of political mistakes and economic deterioration led to public outrage, which was translated into mass protests in the streets. The military was back in the limelight. Minister of Defense al-Sisi, who was appointed by Morsi, deposed the president and installed the chief of the Supreme Constitutional Court as interim president to oversee the transitional period.
The history is repeating itself. Just like in the 50s, the army is arresting Muslim Brotherhood leaders for inciting violence and killings, and even Morsi himself is under military custody. We now expect jihadists to escalate terrorist operations against the army in support of the Brotherhood.
The group is now fighting back with mass protests and attacks on military checkpoints, opening a new chapter in the power struggle between the generals and the Brotherhood. Yasser Hakim for CCTV, Cairo.